Hello, friends. Say hello, happy home here. Such a spring-like day outside today. It's beautiful out there. I went out there and stocked up my birds on all their seed and the squirrels and their nuts and all that crazy nonsense. They really are nuts, too. But that's not what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you today about I'm sorry and forgiveness. I recently made a comment in a previous video entitled Slavers. It's a little intense, but it's worth a peek if you're interested, my loyal listener. I I don't put a lot of weight in forgiveness and people, I forgive you. It's disingenuous. It's not sincere anymore. The same thing with sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. We got to come up with other things to say. Because, for one thing, I'm so sorry for your loss is not constructive. When people lose a loved one, they're in a panic, they're in shock, they need help. They don't need sorries, especially because it rolls off of everybody's tongue like taking in a breath. It's not genuine, it's not sincere. That bothers me a lot because if you do something wrong, and we all do things that are wrong, we all do things that we're sorry for. But until you've learned your lesson and you are truly remorseful and sorry for what you've done, can you reach a point of hoping that whoever you harmed will forgive you? If you do something wrong, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Okay, I forgive you. That's so insincere and disingenuous. I can't tell you how annoying it is to me to hear people just like hi, how you doing today? You don't want to know how they're doing today. Why are you doing that? If you want to know how they are, stop, look them in the eye, ask them how they're doing, and take a moment to listen to them. Say hi, how you doing as you're walking away. You know what I mean? It's all just so disingenuous. And that's why I'm really bothered with forgiveness. I think forgiveness is highly overrated. I wonder how many people actually forgive because of the street cred with God. Forgiveness is a high standing in the Christian world and maybe other religions, I don't know, where it's almost like you have to forgive everybody, they require it or something like that, to get street cred with God. And I think that's disingenuous even on the face. If I want to forgive somebody, I will genuinely forgive you, but only after I feel that you have been held sufficiently accountable and that you really are genuinely sorry. I think we need to backtrack and really start looking at how we're throwing things around like, I forgive you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, how you doing? Bye. We gotta be more sincere and more genuine with how we're navigating cause and effect. Someone does something bad, they cause a terrible thing to happen to another person. You can't just go, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, whatever. We've become so desensitized to cause and effect, action, and accountability, and moving on. And that's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness ultimately is giving yourself and giving the other individual permission to move on and not stay in that place. But if you give them permission just because, if you don't let them be held accountable, they need to be accountable by whatever outside means there are. If it's a crime and they have to go to court and they have to, pay their dues, that's accountability, but that's external accountability. But internal accountability is when they are really genuinely remorseful and they realize they did something wrong and they never want to do it again. I do and say things that I'm remorseful for all the time. It's because I have a big mouth and, I'm justice oriented and we live in a weird world. But nonetheless, and you can't count everything. If someone is offended because I say the F word, fun, frugal, fruit, and that offends one person out of all of the billions on earth, I'm not sorry for that, because I do say what I say, how I say, when I say it. Okay? For example, all right? And if that one person comes up and says, well, that offended me, and then I have to change my entire dynamic and I have to change my entire life because one person's opinion, an opinion is not an actionable crime. You can have a right to an opinion. You have a right to express those opinions, thoughts, and feelings. Now, if someone directly gets hurt, by something you said, well, then you're probably going to be held accountable if they misunderstood it to some degree. You would want to apologize and explain yourself. But using a cuss word, people aren't going to get hurt by that. But people have become so ego-centered that they think that their world must be upheld in everybody else's worlds. And that you are doing wrong and doing harm if they choose to be offended by something. Because we all have to be a little thicker in the skin. We all have to understand that we have our own opinions and we all have a right to be who we want. And you can love them or hate them. That's your choice. But we've become so simplified with forgiving and being sorrowful that it's lost its meaning. It's lost its impact. And I think that we need to get back to understanding. Look in your Bibles, talk to your pastors or your priests, and get back to the real reason forgiveness is in the Bible. It's not to stroke your ego and make you look superior to everybody else because you're going to stand there and go, I forgive you. It falls on deaf ears these days. So think about it. Let me know what you think. I think they're overused. I think that I forgive you and I'm sorry are dramatically overused. I think they're misused. And I think they're used so casually that they've lost their impact and their sincerity. And until then, I do sincerely wish you a wonderful evening and do good and be good.